Hello everybody, it's Sarah and welcome to my first post-bookmess video. Did you miss me the last 2 days, which were the first days I didn't upload since November? I hope you did. Just don't lie and say, or lie and say you missed me. Just say it, okay? But anyway, I hope you had a nice few days around Christmas. I hope even if Christmas isn't the best for you, you were able to spend the time well. I hope that even though the situation is hard for a lot of people, and that of course if you can't see your family, it's especially hard during a time when you usually see your family, I hope you still had a nice time. And yeah, let's get rolling into the new year. We only have a few days left. And so since I talked a lot about what I wanted to read in the new year in the past few weeks, I thought today we talk about what I don't want to read in the new year and do the anti-TBR tag that was created by Nicole and her books. I was not tagged in this, but I still wanted to do this. Also, actually, I'm filming this video pre-Christmas, so I still have to finish the hat I plan on crocheting for my little sister. But I thought that maybe that's just gonna give me some grumpy granny vibes while I rant about, not rant, but spitefully talk about which books I don't plan on reading ever. So, you know, maybe just go with the flow or whatever. So the first question is a popular book that everyone loves but that you have no interest in reading. And for that I would have to go with Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. And yeah, I've read the entirety of A Throne of Glass, I've read the entirety of A Court of Thorns and Roses, but I'm just not interested in reading Crescent City at all, or continuing on with A Court of Thorns and Roses for that matter, because of some personal gripe that I have with the author, namely that her books so far have been very, let's say, heavily inspired, be diplomatical and say heavily inspired by my favorite series of all time, which is the Black Jewels series by Anne Bishop, obviously. And I'm sure that with Crescent City she has gotten better and that she's less inspired and whatever, but I still have no interest whatsoever in picking up any other books by her, and especially not Crescent City. It just also doesn't sound like a story that I'm particularly interested in, gotta be honest. It's just not for me. Question number 2, a classics book or author that you have no interest in reading. And for that I would have to go with Jane Austen. I have read one Jane Austen novel, which was Emma, but honestly I just wasn't a fan of her writing style, and I know that everyone loves Pride and Prejudice, but I don't think it's gonna be for me, gotta be honest, and I just gotta pass on this one. Question number 3, an author whose books you have no interest in reading, or a problematic author whose books you have no interest in reading, and you can answer, I can answer the question separately or together. And I'm just gonna answer them kind of together, but choose 2 authors, and those are Mark Lawrence and Sam Sykes. And both of these authors were kind of in a controversy, or were part of a controversy a few months back on Twitter, where it came out that a lot of men within the adult fantasy genre are quite sexist towards the female authors within the fantasy genre, slash that some of these authors, I think specifically Sam Sykes was named, are quite inappropriate and made sexually inappropriate comments towards fans at conventions and stuff. And so yeah, I just have no interest in reading their books anymore. But if stuff comes out about an author that I have previously read, I kind of go case by case and kind of weigh how problematic I think what they did is versus how much I love the book, and then decide. But if there are authors that I haven't even read books by yet, that I have no form of attachment whatsoever about them, and I know that there's some potentially problematic stuff about them, then I just decide to, you know, not read them. I just, you know, why should I chance getting attached to a problematic author in the first place? So yeah. Mark Lawrence and Sam Sykes are 2 of those authors for me. Question number 4, an author who you have read a couple of books by, but you have decided that their books are just not for you. And I don't know if you can call it a couple of books that I've read by that author, but Robin Hobb. I have in fact read 10 books and started an 11th book by that author, so yeah, I have read more than a couple of books. And I have liked some of her series, specifically one of her series, which is the Mad Ship, or like the Live Ship Traders series. I have loved that series a lot. But I have just noticed that, especially within her series where she has the first person narration and is following a main character and kind of following them through their children, teenage years to adulthood, that those books by her are just not for me. Like, I'm talking, of course, of all the books where Fitz is the main character, but also the Soldier's Son trilogy, which has a similar vibe to it. And I know especially Fitz, a lot of people love Fitz, but I just couldn't with him. And I also found that in those series, her female characters are not particularly characters that I very much enjoy. And so, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna continue on with any of Robin Hobb's series, especially in the Realms of the Elderlings. I mean, I would love to have finished all of the series in the Realms of the Elderlings. And technically, I only have 2 series left, so I think 7 books. But I think I'd have to reread all of her books, and I don't think I particularly want to do that. Question number 5, a genre you have no interest in, or a genre you tried getting into but couldn't. And I mean, I want to say romance, because, you know, generally romance just doesn't interest me. I am sometimes interested in romance if there's like a big subplot of something else, but just straight up romance, not really. Although I have really enjoyed Red, White and Royal Blue, but I honestly think those books that I have enjoyed are too far in between each other, so, you know, I might pick up a romance every now and again, but as a genre, as a whole, no. I've no interest in reading them. Especially, you know, straight romances. I just really don't have an interest in reading them. So yeah, I guess that would be the romance. Also just contemporary in general, if it's not literary fiction. Question number 6, a book you have bought but will never read, and those can also be books that I have already on hold or that were from the library and then it returned unread. And I have recently decided, and on hold, but I'm too lazy to get it because it's already in the on hold spot under my desk. I have recently decided that I just don't think I'm ever gonna read IQ 48 by Haruki Murakami. And yeah, I'm just passing on that one, so to speak. Question number 7, a series you have no interest in reading or a series you have started and DNF'd. And I have, of course, done a DNF'd series, like, list a few weeks back during Bookmas, so I will leave that link down below. But aside from that, a big fantasy series that I have absolutely no interest in reading is the Malison series by Steven Erikson. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people really obsessed with that series, but I don't know. I just get like the really hard white male fantasy vibes from that series, and I just am not interested in reading that series whatsoever. And the last question, a new release you have no interest in reading. And I gotta be honest, if I'm interested in a new release, I write it down. And if I'm not interested, then I'm just like, I forget about it. So there's just absolutely no new releases that I'm not interested in reading. Gotta be absolutely honest. So I don't have a question for this answer. An answer for this question. Wow, you know, like, this is why I usually don't pre-film a lot, because after a second video, pre-filming, I just get incoherent. And so yeah, with that said, that was it for this video. That was it for my anti-TBR tag. And yeah, tell me what are books that you absolutely do not want to read. Also tell me if I really enraged you with any of my answers. I absolutely want to know about that, of course. If you enjoyed this video, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and also maybe subscribing. All the links to my social media are in the description box down below, so go and check those out. All the links to my book club of Queens, Witches and Valkyries, where I read one adult high fantasy book written by a woman per month, are also in the description box down below, so go and check those out as well. And I do hope I'll see you very soon. Bye!